Hello, my dear students. How are you? I hope you are doing good, sitting at home, staying safe. So, this is Guru Sir. So, today I am here just to give you a basic idea of engineering mechanics, which is a very important topic throughout our life or throughout the civil engineer. Because whenever we go or whenever we study into any of the subjects in our civil engineer, mechanics always enters. Because mechanics is that type of subject where it relates with the body, with the motion, with the moment, with the velocity. Many of the properties are involved in it. So for that sake, we need the mechanics is very, very important throughout our life. So we have studied very important topics in our science, but we have studied the basic principles, but we need to understand the main basic engineering properties. That means the main application of the principles of that we have studied in our science. So in the many of the engineering degrees or diplomas, you have come across with a subject called as strength of materials, engineering mechanics and strength of materials. So that is the main subject where it is involved all the mechanics. So now we will be going, what is a mechanics? What are the branches involved in it? And what are the main basic ideas that will be there in our engineering mechanics? So first and foremost, so we need to know what is a mechanics. So it's a branch of science that deals with a body which is under the rest or which is under the motion. So that is the main basic thing we need to understand in the mechanics. So what is a matter? A matter which has weight or having mass. Anything which occupies space and has mass, we can say it as a matter. For example, if I consider this as a matter, so matter itself is nothing but which has weight. It's having a weight, it's having a mass, and it occupies some space to fulfill it. So here in this particle, or I can say this is as a body, so which is under the rest. The body is under the rest, because here if it is sitting on this hand, it is having some weight that is acting on this, and my hand is giving some resistance. So the body is under the static condition. That means it is under the rest. So the body is under the rest. So what are the properties? So it is having some weight, it is having some sizes, it is having some dimensions. So that all we need to study under the mechanics. So that is under the rest condition. If the body starts to move, then we call it as it is a dynamic. The body is under the rest or which is under the motion. The body might start moving. So that is the main basic principle of mechanics. So here you can see, guys, so in engineering mechanics, what is the mechanics? It's a branch of science. So it's a branch of science that deals with the body under the static and dynamics. So this main basic involves where the body is under the static and the body is under the dynamics. So here static means the body which is under rest, which is not moving, where the velocity, speed, everything it is zero with respect to time. Dynamics, the body is under the motion, the body is moving along one particular direction, which is having velocity, speed with respect to time and changing the location, changing the places. So that comes under the dynamics. So these are the two main basic things we need to study in the mechanics. So engineering mechanics, we can divide it as it's a branch of science that deals with the body which is under the rest, that is the static, or it's under the motion. For the motion we call it as a dynamics. And also we can define static as it's a branch of mechanics that deals with the body which is under rest. Dynamics also we can define, it's a branch of science that, it's a branch of mechanics that deals with the body which is under the motion. So that is the main pure idea of mechanics. The second thing, so here you can see the block diagram or the logarithmic where the different branches that get branched. So mechanics has been divided into static and dynamic. So this dynamic has been evolved kinematics and kinetics. So what are kinematics and kinetics is? Kinematics is nothing but cause for the motion is not considered, where the kinetics is cause for the motion is considered. So what does it mean? For example, if there is a body which is floating in the air, okay, and here is the ground. If the body falls down and breaks into pieces, so why it has broken, what are the properties of this material, why it has been broken, because of the materials that is present, whether it is a glass, whether it is a stone, how much pieces it has become. So that all study comes under the kinematics. But in kinetics, cause for the motion is considered. So cause for the motion means why it has fallen down. It is because of the force called as gravity. So that if we consider, we can say it as a kinetics. If we do not consider the force, then it is called as kinetics. So these are the two main branch of mechanics, or you can say dynamics, which comes, that is the main. So now I can say for everything to happen, we have one particular parameter or one particular physical quantity called as force. One particular quantity that we call it as a force. So what is this force? So we have generally defined it as push, or I can say it as pull. So what is a push or a pull? Whenever I push the body or whenever I pull the body starts from rest to motion. So that is nothing but the force. Or I can also define it as, it is an external quantity. External quantity means I am applying it outside. It is one body, I am applying it on the other part, that is an external quantity. When applied on the body, starts to move. So it converts from rest to motion. When it converts from rest to motion, so it is changing its position also with respect to time. If it happens so, what is that quantity is called as? It is nothing but the force. If I want to push this body, or if I want to pull this body, I need to change the location, I need to change the places, I need to apply the force. So it's an external quantity. When applied on the body, changes its state of rest of motion. That means it converts from rest to motion. When it converts from rest to motion, we can say it as force. So force, who has founded out it? That is, it was founded out by Newton. So it was invented by Newton. So that's why the SI unit of force is, it is Newton, or I can just represent it by N. Now, this Newton, I need to particularly indicate with some values. So that we call it as an intensity. So whenever if I want to show or if I want to express any physical quantity, we need a unit. So what is that unit for the force is Newton. For example, if anybody asks my weight, I will say it as 10 kgs. Or if nobody asks me anything and directly if I say 10 kg, so the person in the opposite direction can sense that I am speaking about the weight, because the weight's SI unit is kg. So for that sake, SI unit systems that is maintained to know the which particular quantity we are speaking. So SI unit of force is Newton, or also we can say it as kilonewton. So now for the conversion, in our most of the competitive exams, they might ask what is 1 kilonewton. That will be given it as 10 to the power of 3 Newton, or we can say it as 1000 Newton. This is in the form of exponential, this is in the form of 1000 elaborated form. Now sometimes the forces may also given as 1 mn, that is mn means meganewton. Meganewton means, mega means 10 to the power of 3 Newton. So that will be given, sorry, not 10 to the power of 3, it is 10 to the power of 6. 10 to the power of 3 is kilo, 1 meganewton is 10 to the power of 6. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6 zeros I need to add. Sometimes they will ask the conversion in our competitive exams. So we need to be very careful here. So the force unit is Newton or a kilonewton, we can express it. Now, what are the main basic characteristics of a force or what are the characteristics of a physical quantity that we are learning is, that is the force. So what are the physical quantities? Characteristics. That is first one. It is a vector quantity. Second, point of application. Line of action. Fourth one is the direction. So now, coming to the characteristics of the force. Characteristics of the force, which is very, very important. So now, first is a vector quantity. So there are two types of quantities. One is scalar, I can represent, and one more is the vector, I can represent. So what is a scalar and what is a vector? So scalar is a magnitude. So only magnitude if it exists, then it is called as scalar, but no direction. When it comes to the vector quantity, which has both magnitude as well as direction. That means for a force, you have two, that is for magnitude as well as the direction. Now what is that magnitude as well as direction? Magnitude is, for example, if I represent it 10 kilonewton is my magnitude, then the direction I can represent it in this direction. So particularly when I speak about the force, I need to indicate it with the direction as well. So in our regular classes, we have already seen that this is north, south, east and west. So we have seen this type of force, that if the force is starting from one common point, so we know that it is called as concurrent forces. So different types of forces will be moving in the next session, but for a time being, if I want to represent the force, it is in the northeast direction. If this force is F with an incline of theta. Now if I want to split this, split in the sense this force might go in east or this force might come in north. So if it goes in the east, what will be the magnitude? If it comes in the north, what will be its magnitude? So for that sake, so it is F cos theta, this is F sin theta. So in our regular classes, we have seen if this is a force, we try to split it in vertical direction as well as in the horizontal direction. So why we need to do this? It is just because if the force try to move in x direction or if the force try to move in y direction, what is the maximum value it may get traveled? So to find out that magnitude, we need to split that force. This splitting up of force is called as resolving forces. This is called resolving forces. I hope many of us have studied in our science that if there are two forces, this is a basic idea. If there are two forces, one force is P, one more force is Q. So one person is moving in the other direction, one person is moving in the horizontal direction. So in the in between, so the resultant force, the resultant means it's a combination of P and Q, that is called as R. That is the resultant forces. So this we have studied, that is resultant R is equal to square root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. So this we have done in our science. So when it comes to this, this is for the scientific basic principle. When it comes to the engineering, these are our basic principles where we'll be following. Sometimes the angle of inclination will be given from here. So F is given. So that time this will become F sin theta, this will become F cos theta. So why it will get changed? If I want to resolve these forces, I need to make use of sine, cos and tan. So three basics from trigonometry I need to use, and that will be derived from these formulas. So we shall not go for mathematics, so we shall restrict. The angle start from x-axis, it will be f cos theta, f sin theta. If the angle starts from y-axis, it will be sin theta and cos theta, reverse. So one you keep it in mind, the other will be opposite of that. So that is about the vector quantity that will be learned here. Next is point of application. So application in the sense is what? If there is a body and I want to apply the force on this body, the point is here. If I apply this point, the force try to move in this direction itself. That is the point of application. This is what principle of transmissibility also. If I put this force in this direction and if I also put this on this direction, the body moves in the same direction itself. So this is called as principle of transmissibility. The point of application or the line of action. So both are almost same. So line of action and the point of application, it depends. If I put my force on this direction, I will get the resistance also in the other direction. So it depends on which direction I am applying the forces. The last one is the direction. As I told you in vector quantity, it has both magnitude as well as the direction. So now to find out the resultant of all the forces, if it is acting, R is given by square root of R, summation of fx square plus summation of fy square. To find out the angle, so that is given by tan inverse of summation of fy by summation of fx. So these are the two formulas that we have used in our regular engineering classes as well as in our regular format of to solve the problems. So these are the two main things. Now what is fx and fy? See, whenever we want to solve any of the group of forces in the sense that is the force system. If this is a body, if I assume this is as a building, so on this building different forces will be acting. Wind forces will be acting, self weight will be acting, earthquake force will be acting, many of the forces are acting. All if I take and put on this body, the body should be under the rest condition, or the body should be under the zero stability condition. The body should be zero stable, that is it should be stable, it should not deflect or it should not fall. So that is the main idea what we need to think about it. So whenever I apply all the forces, this is x direction force, this is y direction force, everything if I take, it should become zero. That is the static. So that's what we will do. Summation of fx is equal to 0, summation of fy is equal to 0, summation of m is equal to 0. So there are three, that is fx. Fx means horizontal direction force, fy means vertical direction force, moment means that is a force into distance, that is couple, rotation forces. So all should be, everything should be under 0. So if it is so, then it is called as equilibrium condition. Equilibrium condition. So what is equilibrium? That all the forces acting on a body should make it as 0. That means it should get absorbed. The body should not get deflected. So this condition is nothing but the equilibrium condition. So these are the main basic definitions or the basic ideas of principle of mechanics. So first and foremost, that is the mechanics. Second is the static and dynamic. Third is the kinematics and kinetics. So main definitions we need to note, because there will be a definitions and there will be a 4 options in your exams. So that we need to think about it. So based upon that, we need to some sort of definitions also we need to understand. So these are the basics of force and characteristics of force. That is very, very important. The next session will be going for different definitions such as couple, moment, and which are some of the basics like principle of transmissibility, principle of superposition. There are some definition for different forces of system, concurrent, non-concurrent forces also are there. So we will be doing it in the next sessions. So I hope you have cleared about some of the things that I have taught here. If you have any doubts, you can just comment in my channel, or you can just directly ask me. So thank you guys. So I hope you are doing good. So stay safe, stay in home. Thank you.